Hi guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this 3D ladybug, and she's really easy to make and quick. You only need 20 black bands if you're going to make her exactly like this one, and 18 red rubber bands. So let's get started. First we're going to make the dots for her wings. So we're taking a single black band, looping it 4 times on a hook, and then pulling those loops onto a red band. And we'll do this 5 times. So taking a single black band, looping it 4 times on the hook. I'll do this for the other 3. Single black band, looping it 4 times, and we'll put them individually on a single red band to go on the wing. So there's 4. I'm going to take one at a time off and onto a single red band. And we'll set these aside to add to our wing later. We're going to be using the loom in this configuration, and if you have the monster tail, you can follow along. We're taking a single band, twist, double, coming from the center first peg, crossing over, and looping it on the second right peg. Single band, twist, double it, crossing it over from the right first to the left first peg. So that's our first 2 set of bands. The next 4 we're taking a single, twist, double, and covering those 4 pegs. We are doing the head right now. Single, twist, double, our last band, stretching it all the way across from the right first to the left first peg. And this center peg is just in the way. I'm doing this for those who have the monster tail. So we're going to loop up the bottom 2 bands on each peg, up and over to the center, leaving 4 loops left on each peg. And we'll just pull this on the other side of the second center peg since it's just in the way. And if you have the monster tail, you should be fine. Push that down. So that's our head. Now we're taking a single red band, double it, and once again we'll cross it in the center from the first center peg to the right second peg. Another single red band, twist, double from the first right peg all the way to the first left peg. Now we're going to go under, grabbing all 4 bands on each of the pegs and looping it up and onto the center. Repeat for all 4 pegs. And what we have left are 2 loops on each peg, and they all should be red. Now we're going to expand to 6 pegs, pulling the 2 loops off of the left first peg and stretching it to the second left peg So that's what it should look like. Now we're going to pull a loop off of the first center peg, it doesn't matter which one, and stretching it out to put it on the first left peg. So now the center and the first left has one loop, and go to the right second peg, pull a loop, it doesn't matter which one, just pull the top one and stretch it to the, since I'm pretending this is a monster tail, I'll stretch it to the side right third peg. And if you have the loom, you can just put it on the third center peg. That's okay. So now we cover 6 pegs. Now we're going to take 2 black bands. We're working on the body now, covering the first center to the first side peg for both sides. This is row number 4, and the rest will cover with red bands, forming a hexagon if you are working it on the loom. So now we're looping the bottom bands up and over, and you should have 2 loops left. We're looping a single band up and over on the second and third peg on the right side, and going around our loom, looping the bands up and over, leaving 2 loops left on each peg. Push it down. That was row number 4. Row number 5, we're going to add our dots. Let's do our 2 black bands first for the bottom of the body. And for our first dot, I'm putting it, getting the dot with the red band and looping it from the left first to the left second peg, taking a single red band and coming from the left first peg to the right third peg. And if you're working on the loom, you should be right here to the center, or if you have it over here, then do it the same as I am, then pulling this, and we'll put it right here on the right second to third peg, and then our last rubber band, finishing and covering our 6 pegs. Now loop the bottom 2 bands up and over, for all 6 pegs. Push it down. That was row number 5. Row number 6, we'll do the same, putting the 2 black bands from the center first to the side first peg, and then we'll take a single red band covering from the left first to the left second, taking our dot, covering from the left second to the right third, skipping 1, and then putting our dot on the right first to the right second peg. So that's what it should look like. Row number 5, we had our dots in these 2 sections. In row number 6, we have our dots on these 2 sections. So now loop the bottom 2 bands up and over, leaving 2 loops left on each peg. Push them down. Row number 7, we're doing the same thing, taking our single black band and covering from the center first to the side first pegs, like that. And we'll take a single red band covering the left sides, stretching across from the left second to the right third, and we'll put our last dot connecting it from the right third to the right second peg. I'm adding an extra dot. This one has one less dot, so we'll add one more right in that area. And our last red band, we're going to cover our last 2 pegs. So we've covered the 6 pegs. Now loop the bottom 2 bands up and over, and we are almost done. There should be 2 loops left per peg. And that's what it should look like. Now if you're working on the monster tail, you can take your cotton ball or whatever you have, old bands. If you want to use red or black, that would be best, and stuff it inside. And then we're going to start clockwise. I'm starting with the first center peg and going around the loom, catching the 2 bands, getting it on my hook. There should be 6 pegs that you're taking the loops off and pulling your ladybug off the loom. So there she is. And if you were working on the loom like I did, go ahead and stuff your cotton ball or whatever you have around inside her little body. So there's our ladybug so far. Let's tie her off, taking a single band and pulling the loops onto that single band, and then tying a slip knot, pulling one loop over the other and cinching it off. Tuck in the slip knot band, any loose bands that are sticking out. There shouldn't be any, but you never know which bands you've pulled while looping. So there's our ladybug so far. If you have a broken band, you can use it for the antenna, and if you don't, then just use a new band, just cut it. I'm just going to the front of the head here, putting my hook through a couple of the front loops of her face, and then pulling the band through, getting one side like that, and then I'm going to tie the ends off, wrapping it around my finger and just rolling it, and then tying a knot. Repeat for the other side, wrapping around your finger and then just rolling the end up into a knot. Even out your antenna. Take your scissor and just snip off any excess bands above the knots on her antenna and smush her down. So there are your ladybugs. I hope you like her. Thanks for watching.